time where he needs to do that. I don't think we're going to need to see it, though, because like you were alluding to, this matchup, especially if you're giving him FD, is pretty damn solid for Steve. So we'll see how this pans out for PkChris.
Okay, but Chris already opening off with that triple floating. G-XTREME forced to go to the ledge immediately here and just using that block as a little bit of a shield to get back down and onto the ground. Puts himself back into neutral here and calling out that jump. And I gotta say, this is a match of two characters that don't necessarily have the most movement speed. You're gonna see them fall out of each other's like big extensions and strings quite often.
Speaking of those, G-XTREME actually, I mean, he's been doing it more of late, but was someone who for a good while had a problem with properly getting resources and keeping them because he was always boxing. In this type of match, you're going to see him go for big combo strings. As long as he makes sure to keep his resources up, he should be fine. But I would not be surprised to see him just try to rush down Chris at times.
Yeah, Chris right now is using one of the most important tools in a matchup, back air, to catch jumps, to catch a lot of those minecarts as well. It's heavily disjointed, and it is strong. So I love the Chris is that like really implementing this. I want to see some less jump minecarts from G-XTREME.
That's pretty much 2 minecart wins in a row, too, because he not only pressured him and got him with a falling up air after the pressure on that last one, but he also killed him the time before that. So it's going to make him start to second guess. And
okay, Chris, relax. He's trying to go for something a little bit funny, and G-XTREME has his hands on the controller, so he punishes him with the dash attack.
He will make another attempt at it, too. But air dodging into jump fair,
That was saying what? You think you can punish my air dodge? Here you go. I have a double jump forward with your name on it. That's kind of ridiculous.
That air dodge is basically a third jump for Ness in this game. But you won't be able to get to up throw kill just yet. It's a little bit too early. About another 15-ish% might be enough to do it.
Okay. Ooh, really good trade here for actually neither of them. Nobody's able to get back onto stage in time to actually push that kind of advantage state. G-XTREME is just going for a lot of resources. Chris just batting away that minecart. Whiffing that F smash is a huge miss. I can't believe that missed.
I am understanding now why PkChris was okay with the idea of coming here to FD, because usually you don't want to give that to Steve. It gives him too many outlets and too many different ways to keep you from landing. But instead, Chris said, I'm just going to outplay in disadvantage specifically and make sure you never feel comfortable enough to want to go for those, because he's already punished him like 3 different times on landing.
Yeah, okay, that was a really good feedback forward from Chris, right? Just recognizing, hey, if this whiffs, I just don't want to get caught on my landing. Throwing out as many diagonal aerial PK fires as he could possibly put out right now, trying to reflect that minecart, and again, G-XTREME just not able to find this opening in Chris's buttons.
Yeah, that was about to be the game right there, too, if he decided to roll on. Up throw will finally do it, so a stock does finally happen, but you can see, like, oh, we can see in the cam, that PkChris is having a blast down there because he was just laughing a ton.
He's pressing a lot of buttons, and G-XTREME is just not really totally sure how to...
pressing a lot of buttons?
No. Who'd have thought?
Oh, no. Absolutely not. But, I mean, it's all for conditioning, though, as you already know. Like, all jokes aside, you have to condition shield, which they don't stop. Like, Steves don't like the whole shield. They want to keep moving unless it's to a point where they already have diamond and they want you to get hit.
They want to keep getting in your face with, like, a lot of buttons, absolutely. And now just setting up with the TNT at the ledge here. Chris rolls back on. G-XTREME whiffs and eats it back here. That didn't do it quite yet. Goes back on with the minecart, and then just like waiting for that whiff. But
I had a feeling that he was going to die there too. He already mixed them up twice by going for PK Thunder 2 baits at the ledge. So you want a neutral get up, and because he was scared out of wanting to roll there the 3rd time round, he knew he'd want a neutral get up. He already revealed he neutral get up twice in the previous stocks. Yep. That's a free up smash, especially because you're a stock up already in that position, like we were just talking about right there. Hey, you thought you got on for free, right? You got a grab out of it. Well, congratulations. You think that this time I'm going to do nothing, except I'm going to read that entirely because you did it the last 2 times.
G-XTREME seemed a little bit overwhelmed in this matchup, I have to say. I feel like there's like a lot of like APM in the like sort of space that Chris is threatening, especially like jumps, especially minecarts, especially jumps out of minecart as well. And we're seeing like a lot of moments where like we're seeing like Chris whiff something, and G-XTREME doesn't know, is it my turn to swing, or is this something that I have to respect?
I think that's a good way to put it. I don't think he ever really knew when his turn was, because the movement from Chris was just better in that first game. This is a pretty solid option to be able to switch it up to, though. Going here to Kalos, you're going to get better survivability around the throws, and also the change up of the materials.
When you're fighting against a player that tries to play as like fast as like Chris does, another like analogy I have is like somebody like Ramses from the EU. That is somebody who plays fast and forces you like, hey, I'm not giving you the time to think about this. You need to keep up with me at my pace.
Yep.
And right now, Chris is dominating that pace. The question is, can G-XTREME keep up with it or slow it back down?
Well, he's got some time to figure it out here in the second match, especially on Kalos. Like you said, survivability is a little bit higher here, but yeah, I don't Chris is not going to give you too many times to try and adjust past this point. He's continuing to still pressure in the same way. I feel like G-XTREME's second guessing when he wants to go in, which is leading him to getting punished less for sure. But the air-to-air game has just been, the air game period has belonged to Chris.
Yeah, Chris is just like throwing out all these things just to cover something, and then always fades back and then still continues to pressure. And you have to inch towards Ness little by little, walk shield, just to be able to get close enough. But huge call out there, like with the forward throw, just to put Chris at the ledge for a little bit longer, and G-XTREME trying to get some more mats up. But again, I still feel like Chris is always the one initiating and getting that first hit in. Yeah,
I will say, getting him to a 99% right now, I will call this stock a win for G, because for one, he's actually going to get it first. Wow. But that he was able to get to Diamond, and he was able to put enough damage on to get a stock. Instead, he actually ends up striking first overall, and now he's going to still get some extra credit here. So amazing job from what looked like a pretty poor situation to start.
Yeah, Chris tried to get a little bit, fancy with that reverse magnet into the back. He wasn't actually able to find it. And now Chris just looking for this next opening again here, spacing that out, able to punish that minecart, and doesn't get the punish on the neutral get up. But such good spacing that time.
It's still killing me that 74% essentially came from just up tilt and up airs, because he didn't have a pickaxe that whole time. It was broken. So quick combo strings, quick anti-airs, and kind of playing into Chris's hand of, hey, you want to be super aggressive? Fine, I'm just going to keep hitting you.
Yeah, oh my gosh, such a good call out, but those multi-hits not strong enough to actually break through that anvil. I see you laughing it up.
Minecart is fair and balanced. What are you talking about? Oh my goodness, the Tekken is going crazy right now. Oh, I'm pretty sure he's going to die here. Great stall. Oh my god, never mind. And that was a near checkmate scenario with that PK flash because he burned all of his resources, but he stalled with the TNC. That actually was really smart.
There's a lot happening here. And all that G-XTREME did was like, hey, I'm going to try and directional air dodge to get out of here. And that was the one time that PkChris waited, was able to get that landing. But G-XTREME with the drop down double jump minecart, closing out that stock and keeping himself no longer in the lead. And it's now back even.
Yeah, we're back down to that one stock game piece. Like we said, this is usually a much better scenario for Steve, having Diamond in this position. Well, the way that Chris has been playing, he's kind of played without fear of Diamond whatsoever.
This game is ridiculous, man. I don't know what else to say.
You ever had a bunch of flies in your house and you have the electric fly swatter one that's like super powered and they just all knock down? Well, for one, clean them dishes. That's probably why you got flies in the house. But two, he felt super powered walking around with that up tilt. But he hit absolutely nothing. Ness is kind of a pest, though. Oh, this is big damage. He's lucky he fell out.
You need to do a double jump PK fire like in place and not like fully lean into it to actually connect that second one. And then you want to do a biggest magnet back. Chris sort of messed up on the spacing, but it does not matter. This time around, connect it. Does not actually kill, though.
That is the Kalos benefit right there. And unfortunately for him, because down smash was already at the ledge, the fear of trying to go near that was too high.
I gotta say, I feel like a lot of Chris's game plan in this matchup is kind of simple here, which is I'm going to hit your shield with this aerial that you still think is like unsafe, but I'm just gonna fade back, and then you press neutral out of shield, you press forward, great, you whiffed it, and now I have my whiff punish waiting for you.
I feel like the hope of keep it simple stupid is like so straightforward to try and fight Steve, but because of how unpunishable he is in so many windows, it gets really frustrating to try and keep it simplified. But Chris has done a pretty good job at that, and because of that, he's sporting a 2-0 lead going into game number 3 here. Going to keep that Steve out, the Enderman here. However, I gotta point it out, Dara, we've had quite a few times where people have been up 2-0.
And have gotten the boost 3-0.
And then, man, oh man, the game continues.
Yeah. So. Way too often this tournament, actually, but that's totally okay. Makes it back on, tries to go through the grab here, doesn't actually find it. Chris pressing F smash.
All right, bud.
He's had enough of it, too.
We are pretty close to the Mets, and as a Mets fan, I can go ahead and be sad about the fact that all of those misses looked exactly like the games. Well, you know,
everything reminds me of her, man. I miss her so much.
I don't want to call the Mets, actually. There are no home runs to be had. But currently, G-XTREME is trying to look for a big swing and hope to not miss. But like right now, he's just been a good, healthy dose of that. Even with the small lead that he had before, Chris is looking like he might take the first stock.
And again, G-XTREME is swinging in places where Chris is still just sort of holding shield and waiting for him to do something else. Tries to go through the neutral. That was a really good idea. Makes it back on the goals, and Chris reacts and punishes accordingly. Now goes up a stock here, up 2-0. In-game count as well. This isn't looking so good.
Yeah, I mean, considering how well that set went against Mr. E too, like Chris has not stopped. Like he was very solid in that set. He ends up losing in that game 5 situation, but
He tried to go. I have a feeling he tried to go through the ledge. I can't lie. I'm not sure that he tried to go up through and then G-XTREME
I
just
can't
happened
believe
to be
he
up
thought
there.
about that in that situation. Like, just the fear of going anywhere near that. But G-XTREME does end up closing it out. The damage has been done, though. 88%, and take a look at those materials. There is no diamond or gold, and also the accidental fade back. I don't think he's making this back.
Oh, actually, Chris might have just saved him, didn't he?
He actually did. Wow. I thought he would end up at least getting another nair back air. Back throw will do it, though.
That was a whiff, like a dash back pivot grab or something. I'm not sure what the intention behind it was. But either way, Chris took full advantage of it. He's an entire stock up here. And yet the same situation keeps repeating itself where G-XTREME just keeps swinging on Chris's shield.
All right. You need that gold to be able to do it for free. But G-XTREME, lucky again, he did not get hit by the side magnet string. He's going to get a 65% punish out of it, though.
I feel like that should have been the time for G-XTREME to keep on pushing because Chris used up that double jump. And that's when he could have pressured the platform. But this is such a good situation.
I think you're on the money with it. I think he thought about it, backed off, but then got way more aggressive because now all of a sudden he has him in kill percent windows, one good F smash and one back air at ledge, and all of a sudden we're looking at an even game.
He's giving up a lot of space here, and Chris keeps consistently punishing a lot of these minecarts, setting up with the up smash just in case Chris jumped into it. Okay, a lot of really good pressure here, and notice how he didn't try to punish. He just was like, okay, you pressed it. I don't think I got this. I'm going to just be patient, and then I'll get the kill.
Now things are scary because Diamond is available, and one anti-air equals an even game. So PkChris, he's jumping in a lot. He's still finding his openers, but he has to be very precise about where he goes in because that SDI was on the money, and he still took 61%.
That's huge. That's massive, in fact, and whiffing that dash grab as well. Chris getting really aggressive with it, punishing the minecart again and again and again, and the get-up attack on a reaction to punish the yo-yo. Beautiful stuff.
Not falling for it twice. He's going to be able to get back on and keep this game going. G-XTREME trying to force a game number 4 here against PkChris. Minecart coming through, back air sends him off stage. One more mistake, and that's the game.
No double jump, has to land on the platform, and G-XTREME not able to get there in time. That is a huge back air. How do you make it back onto the stage? Chris getting just poked by it.
And he gets smacked away by the dash attack, and that's your game number 4 inbound. He was in a comfortable lead, but this is exactly how it goes. The reward on hit for that last stock situation that G-XTREME was able to get to that material, forced such a scary spot, but that one mistake particularly by getting hit by that minecart pretty much cost them the match.
I don't know what Chris was looking for here. I'm not sure if like Chris ended up like pressing something in his position. Let's go that back a couple of frames and see what actually went down and why Chris ended up getting hit by this button altogether. So, but at this point, let's zoom in. Let's go back 10 frames. Let's slow this bad boy down. What do we got? Did Chris press something? Or did he just get hit?
I think he was just trying to free fall because I'm fairly certain. I think Chris was out of a double. Did he get hit out of his double jump during that dash attack? Or was he on the ground before that? Because he might have been without his double jump, and he was trying to be careful about when he timed his air dodge. I don't think he expected G to go at him there. Take one more look. Got hit here. Falls to the ground. He got traded off on.
Used up the double jump to cancel some of his horizontal momentum.
Yep. So he was without it, and he was hoping that G wouldn't swing so he could get the air dodge down, but instead he ends up getting punished for it, and now G-XTREME putting on 67% to start the round.
The biggest thing I want to talk about what happened that last game and why G-XTREME was able to make that comeback. He stopped getting too anxious with his punishes. He was like, wait, this isn't my turn. I'm just going to hold back a little tiny bit here, and then he found the gaps in PkChris's game plan. Just by respecting Ness a little bit more, you're not going to get punished out of shield as much.
Yeah, and I was about to say prior to this match where he kind of threw out 2 pretty quickly, but you notice the severe much lower amount of minecarts at a disadvantage, where now they've been a little bit more aggressive this game, I think, to change it up, but he was much more careful about where he did it because he was getting hit by that all the damn time.
Okay, right now, a little bit of a nasty position here. You don't have any iron to actually anvil away those PK Thunders. Tries to go for the neutral, but again, a little bit too slow on that timing. G-XTREME comes back on, holding onto center stage here, just saying, okay, do it. Press a button, see what happens. Land on that block, I got an up smash. I smell it, I feel it.
And he's already got the resources ready for the next stock, too. So Chris trying to find, hopefully, a way to just shut this down while he's still at the 100-ish range and try to put on some extra damage in the next stock, but he is not finding any of these short hop fairs.
G-XTREME is changing up like the spacing and timing with some of these minecarts to just press them a little bit closer to Chris before he can actually fully set up with those back airs to space them out.
Yeah, no trade for you. If you do trade, it's going to be worse for you at best. What the hell did he just make? Did he make like an elephant? What is that?
It's a little guy of some kind. I don't know which kind,
I don't know.
But somebody.
Chat, give me an answer to what G-XTREME just built there. But currently, back to 2 stocks apiece. It is game number 4 again, so we talked about it before. There have been only 1 3-0 so far in this top 12. And G is consistently having the lead so far.
Oh yeah, okay, almost catches that landing, but again, you have to respect Ness just a little bit more than you always feel like it. Comes back on with the minecart, nice and slow. This should be a free landing catch, but PkChris making the most out of Ness's air acceleration, just fading back left and right like there's no tomorrow.
I mean, you got to use that air mobility where you can. That's the main thing that you're hoping for, to try and survive against this matchup. It's extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Somebody said elephant, bro. I know. Okay, it wasn't an elephant. Okay, leave me alone. I thought about it in the moment. All right, I'm sorry. I'm stupid. But these two looking very smart about the way that they're adapting throughout the match. Honestly, it's been impressive to watch. But now we're reaching that point where any trade is pretty good on a backer for Chris, as we see he threw out so many.
That was a lot of buttons, I can't lie. But oh no, the dash attack actually going to be closing up that stock here. G-XTREME with a very, very gentle lead at this point. And again, respecting this, running away a little bit, and finding that opening, and look at that amount of damage, and just good enough DI, canceling that momentum, and just comes back on and punishes that like overly ambitious PK Thunder.
And he's already got 50% to start up stock too, so even if he falls right here, 50% is available to him, as that Nair's going to take it out.
Oh yeah.
It's basically on Chris to make sure he doesn't get, like, he covered it. I like what he did there. He made sure he didn't try to get the diamond for free, because once diamond's there, he's at kill percent.
Okay, really huge F throw. Just that amount of like base knockback is amazing for just setting up a lot of really good edge guarding positions for him that early on, but that was the best possible spacing. Knew exactly how to hold in on that to get back on, but wow, he keeps recycling the situation.
And Chris was taking full advantage of knowing that G had to find that diamond. Now diamond is here, back air comes through, Chris is at 100 plus, straight hit back air, forward smash, anything could take the game.
Chris is using up all those double jumps to avoid the ledge, and I wonder if it's ever going to come back to like kind of bite him in the butt a little bit. But G-XTREME tries to lean in with that dash attack. That was just a huge whiff. Oh no.
G-XTREME is kind of swinging for the fences here, and it might cost them one back air at ledge. We have a perfectly even game here. Do we get that game 5 again, or do we see Chris shut it down right now?
Okay, just trying to space this out a little bit, setting up a wall just so you can get some more mats for a little bit longer. So many interactions, so much happening. Oh my God.
He's been building with his imagination. Up throw won't be enough yet. Yes, it is. He gets enough of a pummel, and that is going to lead to the game number 5. You better be mashing your way to victory to try and get out of that throw. That was indeed not an elephant. That was.
Let's talk about this.
So somebody said a camel, and I think that would have been a better attempt at least, because like
this has to be a bear. Look at this. I'm sorry. This is the analysis that you all came here to see. Look at the berries. He's eating like a fish.
That's a cat.
He's a little bit too chunky for a cat. I can't lie.
What does this bear have ears that pointed up like that?
Well,
you gave him like a little bow tie and everything too.
He was eating a fish, man, okay?
It's Mr. Figglesworth over there. All right, now, game number 5.
Hard-hitting analysis. I'm so proud of this.
At least both of us have no ability to understand what animals look like. Currently, you know what? I appreciate who said, thank you, Toxic, for saying it's definitely an elephant. I appreciate you. Now, game number 5 is happening, and G-XTREME is kind of putting in work here. Chris is taking 101, and not just that, but almost a stock within 30 seconds.
Used up that double jump for the double jump magnet, and then just air dodge right directly into G-XTREME's F smash that he had waiting for him. Chris is getting a little bit too aggressive off of the ledge. He needs to slow this down.
What the hell is G? Why is G making like the biggest contraptions I've ever seen a Steve player make during
this? Look how much
like,
Chris is struggling to maneuver around, but now he's figuring out the option, which is I'm just going to double jump PK Fire, excuse me. But you give him a puzzle to solve.
That is true. Any way to make him have to second guess their approach, which is normally not that hard for a Ness to be able to try to run in. And 62% was done, but look at this. He's going to take 50 plus off of this. He's lucky that he fell out of that. That could have been a lot worse.
Got to count your blessings in this matchup. You don't get a lot of them, but when you do.
Again, we take those. Sometimes the drop combo is the best thing you could have asked for.
Okay, patrolling the ground a little bit here, looking for some sort of a jump call out again, or just trying to threaten that airspace. Chris spacing out with a lot of these back airs, and nothing's really doing anything, and then until one does. He's not getting punished for it, so there's no reason to stop doing it.
I think G-XTREME's starting to catch onto his landing. Look how many times he's starting to catch, like, all of the, like, he's getting more grabs, he's getting more straight hits, and he's recognizing where PkChris's pressure has been, which has been a nightmare for Chris so far.
By doing 80% less minecarts in neutral, all of a sudden Chris is really confused about when they'll actually come out and at what position they'll come out, and as a result, more of them are connecting. Compare that to game 1, when G-XTREME was using it all the time, he was getting called out out all the time.
Yeah, the flowchart you need to take is remove minecart. Okay, now condition them to shield. Okay, now you start getting punishes due to that. He has missed step 2. He hasn't been able to get G-XTREME to stay in shield and feel scared about it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, makes it back onto the ledge here, goes on. Still just a good back here out of reaction. Oh, on reaction, excuse me. G-XTREME just going, am I going to go down now? Oop, am I going to go down
and
now?
Just getting right back up. That move is not super punishable on landing there after that flight in. So perfect landing there. It's going to need a little bit more spirit if he wants to get this W, though, because right now it is not looking like it's going Chris's way. One good back here at ledge again, even without, actually does have diamond on deck. I thought it was an iron at the moment. Dash attack will finally do it, but the damage has been done. Ness can do it, but he needs a big combo.
If Ness has anything, he definitely has those big combos. So, you know, if G-XTREME like misses a single tech here, Ness has a gajillion punishes that he could just like pop out any moment.
G-XTREME building the ladder to the stairway to heaven, if you will, for PkChris, because Ness is he's struggling. This 118% against Diamond with a whole nother stock of being able to potentially get another one at that.
G-XTREME tried to wait for the potential air dodge, didn't actually find it, just went back down for the reset now, and just waiting for Chris to sort of fall into his clutches, just saying, I'm going to play back, I got my resources that I can keep on mining. You have to be the one to approach. I built up this lead.
Yes, and here comes that stack again, 147. You talk about it like you just said, there's no reason for G to have to actually rush at you right now. It's on you to open him up in the first place. And for Steve, that's great. Go ahead, approach me. Everything I do is an anti-air or a kill option. This is going to be perfect.
Slowing it down just a little tiny bit here. Even Chris is getting a little bit more patient with his backers. When you force Chris to play patiently, you know that you have done something amazing.
Look, that smile and the laugh that he had game 1 has been removed from his face.
Oh,
now
it's gone.
But then again, if you can minimize this damage here, you've got him at 110. You have not been hit yet, Dar. There's still a world where Chris can absolutely bring this back.
He's just trying to space out and threaten with a lot of these back airs by like jumping backwards towards G-XTREME and using the crafting table to extend like sort of the hitbox duration.
Yeah, he absolutely needed that. And the stall, that was good because he knew that that was not a very punishable option. He would try to swing on his way up. G has not hit him in a while, and we are once again in a Game 5 last stock situation.
Question is, how do you actually get an opening kill? Gets a couple of floaters and popping out the PK fire, but G-XTREME lands in time. You have to eat that damage. Be patient making it back.
Oh, that minecart literally saved him out of that situation where he could have tried to cover the landing at ledge again. And now G-XTREME, he can't get to the diamond. He really wants to get better material right now, but he's going to take a PK fire for his troubles.
Oh, yeah. Okay, huge amount of up tilts, but actually not able to find the confirm out of it. That could have been so big and keeps dropping it. G-XTREME misspacing the floaters.
We are at that point where now even the best players get scared. You're in the Game 5 last hit situation or last stock situation. You start not making the most precise choice. So let's see which one of these two is the one that cracked first. The PK fire fires through the lava, so he ends up getting out of the up smash. That could have been a lot worse, but the trade's coming through. They're both essentially at bad kill percent windows. It's gonna go either way.
But Chris with no double jump, but you can't punish that neutral. Really good late timing. Safe on the shield there. Goes through the PK fire. Another double jump cancels. Safe on shield. G-XTREME. But that's not the back
He can only get the forward air right there. He might have wanted to go for it, but he's going to go down to the ledge. He gets the read, and he gets the game, and he pops up for it. That's going to be the up smash at the ledge finally to get the habit that he conditioned early on. That's going to shut it all down. We mentioned it back in game 1, and it came all the way back into game number 5 where he needed it the most to be able to take it all.
At the end of the day, you know, the beauty about Ness is sometimes if you're like struggling to take a stock, you can literally just like smash attack at the ledge if you haven't done that in a while, because it covers just about everything other than a reaction get up attack.
The one singular thing that you have to be worried about ever is if you misspaced it and then you get smacked by Steve because he rolled on the stage. But he put himself in the perfect position to cover both both the neutral get up and the roll on. So at least if he got around it, you're gonna see it right here. Puts himself right around in between roll and neutral get up position. This is a perfect spot to stand because if you get back on from that roll, you're gonna catch him on the back hit of that up smash. So even if he doesn't die, he still gets hit and you're not getting punished.
So I feel like this is the most like sort of like impactful interaction here. This jump from PkChris was essential. The biggest thing that like Ness wants to do, he wants to force people to go to the ledge because then he has a plethora of tools. He has down tilt, he has down smash, he has up smash, he has PK fire, he has back airs to catch jumps. That is where Ness excels. By jumping like this, you threaten the high recovery option and you force G-XTREME to go to the ledge. As Ness, you much prefer ledge trapping somebody over juggling them, over catching their landing, over catching a high recovery. Simply by threatening with a jump, G-XTREME was like, okay, you're gonna back here, you know what, I'm not not going to mess with that. I'm just going to fade back now. I'm going to go to the ledge here and goes for the immediate down smash to maybe try and bait like an early timing. Nesses love doing that, saying, what are you going to do? Immediate get up attack? Nope. Turns around and then pops out a shield to cover said get up attack and then just goes with the up smash anyways to punish that neutral get up. That was just really good pressure over and over from PkChris, and he popped off and felt good about that.
That's what you needed the most in that spot. You have to remain calm there, because if you don't, you're messing it up. Like, you're going to put yourself in a punishable window, and then G-XTREME wins that game. But instead, because he did that jump, forced exactly where he needed to go, even if air dodged early after that, that down smash originally that you're talking about would have still smacked him away. So no matter what, Chris is walking away with an okay situation.